Welcome to Saving Us, where we discuss relationships in marriage, family, and beyond. Relationships are hard work and should be a priority. These discussions are here to help you navigate the waters of insecurity and frustration and hopefully guide you to a place of peaceful fulfillment in your own relationships. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Saving Us. I am your host, Deetra Carter, and this is my co-host,
Michael Carter.
And we are here with episode number 2. And the name of this episode is Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus. And we're talking about the differences between how women and men think in relationships. So we're going to start off with the first question. What is important to you in a relationship? What is the most important thing? What would attract you and make you stay in a relationship?
For me, I don't know what would attract me, but what would make me stay? What would make me stay in a relationship? The most important thing.
Most important thing, yeah.
I think the most important thing for me that would make me stay in a relationship is somebody who's faithful to you. Like if they see your flaws, my flaws, and my failures. Maybe going through a relationship, someone finds out you're not what they expected you to be. You don't meet their expectations. I don't meet their expectations, and they still stick with me and say. And I'm not talking about cheating or all of that kind of stuff. I'm just saying if you are not what they expected you to be, or you have flaws, sure. You fail or whatever it is, and they're still like, well, I have flaws too, so I'm sticking with you. So for me, I think I don't know if that's faithfulness or loyalty or, someone who's on your side but has your back, even though you're not perfect. I'm not perfect. I keep saying you're not perfect. If I'm not perfect, it's a question for me, then that's a person I would stick with, whether it's friend.
So somebody who accepts you, warts and all, faults.
There you
all.
go. Yeah, I guess I could have just said it that way.
Yeah.
Somebody accept you for who you are, despite your flaws,
right?
Despite your failures,
right?
Shortcomings. Yeah.
So with that, if you're in a relationship, and of course, all of us have problems. We all have quirks or whatever, things that need to be improved. How would you respond? Let's say it's the other way around. Like with me, you see things that need to be improved. Isn't it the responsibility of your spouse or your significant other to say, you can do better in this area?
Right.
I mean, I don't hate you. You're not a bad person. Right. None of that. But here I see such and such. So. And I believe in you enough to say to know that you can do better.
Right.
Let's try to do better.
Well, see,
how do you respond to that?
So for me, though, I think I could tell the motivation.
Right. Okay.
And so I think if someone has a motivation to, and their motivation is like, well, you're not what I thought you'd be. You should be better. And it's that sort of attitude that's a put you down attitude. They can say the exact same thing with a different motivation. Their heart is really to see you do better,
right.
But still saying, we're not going to accept this.
Right.
You're better than this, because in their heart, they truly want to see you do better. Right. See, to me, that's a totally different thing, even though it's the same words, totally different than somebody just saying, you're sorry. Exactly. You ain't what I thought you was. You can do better than this. Do better or else, type of thing. Yeah. So, I agree with you. It is a responsibility of the other. That is a good friend, a good spouse, whatever it is in a relationship that would not just allow your faults to remain where they are.
Just accept you for. I mean, they do accept you, but not to recognize that you can do better in whatever area and try to help you or encourage you, at least encourage you to do better.
I think it's just if like I said, if it's a person who saying you can do better and I want to see you do better, I'm on your side type of thing, then that, to me, that's a big thing. So I don't know what's the most important thing for you that would make you want to stay.
I think the most important thing for me is you have to be fine. No, I think it's consistency. consistency in a relationship. I think if I don't feel like I have to figure out who you are when I see you, I don't have to figure out how you're feeling that day, and if I have to tread lightly, that is a big thing. If something doesn't go that person's way, that they're not going to be all out of sorts. Yeah. That goes over real well. That goes over real well with me. If you're just pretty even keeled most of the time, I think I like, and it doesn't have to be a certain personality. Like, you don't have to be cool. You don't have to be laid back all the time, unless that's who you are, and you don't have to be upbeat all the time. But if I can, just if I know you and you're about the same, whatever you are all the time, and I like that, then that's a big thing.
Okay.
That's a big thing
good.
for me.
All right. That's good.
All right, we're going to move on. Okay. So and talking about relationships now, what are your top 3 deal breakers? So you've been in a relationship for a while, you know this person. What are the 3 most important things that would, if a person did these things, that's it.
Yeah.
I can't take it anymore.
Okay. Yeah. I think in any relationship, again, if you're best friends, boyfriend and girlfriend, whatever, I think the one at the top of my list would be lack of respect. Mm-hmm. In other words, like someone who, when I say lack of respect, I just mean that someone who, when you're with a bunch of other friends, and they pay like no attention to you, or they make fun of you, and I know that sounds like, high school, but, they embarrass you purposefully, everything, a lot of times things happen and it wasn't on purpose, and, but I mean, purposefully, embarrass you, don't respect you, type of thing. I think that's a deal breaker for me. I think that if a relationship is taxing, what I mean by that is if I'm the one always giving and they're the one always receiving, whether it's simple, or if it's forgiveness, or if it's, whatever it is in a relationship, compliments, if I was the one that was always always trying to do better with, whatever it is, and they weren't, that's, to me, that's a deal breaker. And so you said 3. I think another one is a pessimistic person, all around, not just toward me, but just they have a pessimistic outlook. Everything is, doom and gloom, and that's how they are. Because for me, I'm just not that type of person.
You're opposite,
yeah, so I couldn't be around a person just like that. So I don't know.
Those are your top 3. So a taxing relationship, a pessimistic attitude, and
lack of respect.
Yeah. Okay. Lack of respect. Okay. Yeah. I think for me, I don't like to be around people who cannot compliment other people.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I like for people to get in social situations and see the positive. Like we're creative people, so like if we're at a show, whatever kind of show it is, somebody's on stage doing their thing. And say maybe somebody's not the best. I don't want to be with somebody who'd be like, that was thing. I don't know.
Just constantly.
Just all the time. Just try to see what is positive about other people. I don't like people who can never say another person is attractive or isn't dressed nice or doesn't speak well, or find something that's positive about other people. I like that, because to me that shows a sense of confidence in themselves. Because I think only confident people can see positive in other people, the good in other people.
That shows insecurity. If you
always have to put somebody down, that means you don't think too much about yourself. So so I think that's really, really up there for me. Also, what was another one? Oh, if a person drains you. So like when they call or come over, will you?
All the time.
Exactly. Of course, if you're in a relationship, that's back and forth. You're going to do that. If you need help, you should be able to call your friend to ask for help for things. Yeah. But if they don't call you unless they want something.
The old classic.
And I think I have been guilty of that at times, but people have made me aware of it too. So That's not a good trait to have. It's not a good trait to have.
I don't see that in you.
Yeah, I think I have been. I wouldn't say with friends, but with family, with family members. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And betrayal. So betrayal to me is, I'm your friend. Yeah, we're gonna do this. But then when they get with their other friend group or other people, they put you down. That's not good, because usually, a lot of times, I don't know if usually, a lot of times it'll come back to you.
Right. Yeah. Isn't that the truth?
Yeah. So if you have the same friend group and, this person is in your face smiling and then they're talking about you behind your back, somebody from that friend group is going to let you know.
You're right.
It's
going to come out.
So
it's going to come out.
That's betrayal. So those three things in friendships would be deal breakers for me.
Okay. Even in friendship. All right. That's interesting. Okay. Yeah.
So when you get into a marriage, or I should say a committed relationship, so boyfriend, girlfriend, fiance,
right?
Marriage.
Any committed relationship.
Committed relationship.
We going steady.
Right.
Or we married, or whatever it is.
How do those deal breakers change, or do they change, or are there additional things that would make you stay or leave?
Yeah. So now you in it to win it.
Right. You've already committed.
You committed. You're saying I'm going for it. So I think for me, in marriage, a committed relationship where you friends you friends for a long time. I know how the deal breakers would change. It would be the same deal breakers probably, but I would be more long suffering, more forgiving, more let's try to work it out for a long period of time.
Yeah.
I think I know. Now I'd be lying if I didn't say infidelity. In a committed relationship, even boyfriend girlfriend who's going steady. If there's infidelity, I'd be lying if I didn't say that would be. I don't think it would. I don't know. That's a tough one. It just depends. You have to be in that situation. But that's a hard one. But yeah, but I think with the other things, I would be more willing to stick it out, because I think once you say, okay, we're going to commit, then you're taking everything that goes along with that. In other words, again, I am not talking about abuse and all of those type of things. I mean that's it takes it to another level. But I mean with the faults, with the those things that trip you up, those what's that word for something that just gets on your nerves that somebody has, idiosyncrasies that people have that just gets on your nerves. I would be if I'm saying I'm committing, hopefully I've taken that into account already. If I'm saying I'm committing, then I should know the person,
right?
At least some. I mean, you always get to, because this is what we're talking about now. We're still, after 20 years, getting to know each other. But so you're always going to do that, as long as you're together. But you should know them somewhat to know some of their idiosyncrasies, some of their faults, And so I would know some of that. So hopefully, if I say I'm committing, then I'm going to be a little more forgiving, be a little more willing to, work on it together type of thing. Right. So that's kind of, I guess, it'd be the same ones, but that's how it kind of changes for me.
Okay, so in a committed relationship, even if they hit those points, the first one or two times, it wouldn't be like, I'm out. You would still try to stick in there, stay with it. Right.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think for me, if I'm in a marriage relationship, well, I'll say this for me. If I'm somebody's girlfriend or fiance, and I experience betrayal, or if you are not consistent, you just get on my nerves, I'm taking that as a warning.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not moving forward. Okay,
that's a warning sign.
That means we don't need to get married. But
warning.
But if we are married, and then we start to experience those things.
This is a good point. Yeah. Okay.
I, like you, I'm trying to be patient. I'm trying to stick in there. Right. So I think my top 3 indicators for leaving if I'm in a marriage are any kind of abuse. So, of course, physical abuse, because we don't hit each other.
Right.
That's just not
that's
healthy.
a deal breaker. Yeah.
So any kind of mental or emotional abuse, which is hard to figure out sometimes.
It is. That is a tough one
That's
too.
hard to figure out. So if I've matured enough to know that my spouse is being manipulative and being condescending all the time and making me feel less than.
Right.
So if my feelings are hurt more than I am uplifted, then I need to get out.
Yeah.
I need to get out. So, and I think that's very hard for people to recognize in relationships.
Well, I was going to say along those same lines. Let me ask you. I'll just say I think that it's difficult. I think only the person that's in the situation knows it best, and sometimes. You have your girlfriend or your boys or whoever you might go to. They might not even see it like you do.
Right.
And here's what I mean by that, because somebody else, like if it was someone else that came to me and was like, yeah, she's always doing this and it seems like she's manipulative, and I'm like, well, what did she do? Well, she said this, and I might be like, well, that doesn't seem so bad. All she did was she meant. You know what I mean? You can't see it,
right?
Because you're not in the situation.
Yeah.
And so I think that's partly what makes it hard to figure out. Because then if you're in a situation, now you question yourself, like, well, maybe they're right, but you know how you feel,
right? You know how you feel, and that's why we can't judge other people's relationships. We can't say you need to leave right now because, like you said. We're seeing it through different eyes and through different experiences. But at the same time, we do need to respect people when they decide that they have to get out of a relationship, because if you don't live there,
right,
you don't know.
You don't know.
If you don't live in that house,
you don't know.
You don't know.
Give them good counsel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to. I think it's better to support people through that, and of course, encourage them to seek counseling.
Right.
And to reconcile if that's possible, if people want to change.
Right, yeah.
But if not, I say go for it.
Yeah.
Do your thing. My other two are deal breakers. Dishonesty. So if people are lying about whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't even mean lying about big things like, did you go to work today? Yeah, I went to work. And they go, now that, of course, that's
right.
no. If I found out that's horrible. But even smaller things. Did you pay the bill? Yeah, you didn't pay the bill.
Oh, yeah,
that kind of thing. Dishonesty. I'd just rather put everything out there. Put everything out there because I'm a reasonable person. We could work together.
Let me just ask this. Do you think if someone, whether it's, friendship, where you committed relationship, whether you're best friend or marriage or whatever, do you not think you would ever judge a person if they wanted to be honest about something?
Would I judge them? I guess it depends on what the topic is. If they wanted to be honest about it, but no, because I've had people tell me some pretty big things that they've done, not to me, but in their situations. But they just told me about it through conversation, and I don't think I was judgmental. Now I told them, "Dummy, don't do that anymore." Right. I mean, that was not smart. Don't do that. But I didn't say. I don't like you anymore. Right,
but I'm talking about if it happens to you.
Now, if it happens to me, okay. Would they? No, I think I would. Again, I think it depends on what it is.
Yeah.
If it's illegal or has something to do with children or something.
Yeah.
No,
of course.
No, we're not. That's not acceptable. But if it's a regular character flaw that somebody's just embarrassed about or feels ashamed of, I don't think I would judge because I have a lot of things that I'm ashamed of. Right. So I don't think I would.
Yeah. I think those are the things that, it's because it's I don't know, kind of that circular thing where you obviously, I mean, that's obviously the right answer. The right thing is we want to be honest, about everything, even if it's something that you messed up on or whatever. But I'm just saying, in some relationships, is it that, hey, I don't want to say it because every time I'm trying to be honest, I'm judged and, type of thing. So I'm just saying that may factor in also,
So the honesty creates more shame.
Right.
In the situation.
If the person who the one person's being honest to creates shame,
right, for the other.
I'm not saying that's a reason even to be dishonest, because really you should be honest.
You really
no matter
should.
what.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just saying that you should you should be honest no matter what, no matter how people make you feel, because that's really you.
Right. Right.
So.
And I wonder sometimes if that, in some instances, I think shame is just like you should be ashamed of doing something.
You should be ashamed of yourself,
because that will help you change.
Right. Yeah.
So if you don't, if you're not honest about it, you don't confront it, you'll never change.
Right.
And so that thing just grows, and you just keep doing it, and it could be ultimately to your own destruction.
Right.
Because you haven't chosen to deal with the situation. So sometimes
something's got to make you change.
Right.
Sometimes until you.
Yeah.
Right. That's good.
I think so.
Okay. So
okay. My last thing is laziness.
Oh Lord, I know you don't like laziness.
I do not like laziness at all. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Wonder how you feel about laziness.
I don't like it. If you, I don't like it.
I think we've established she doesn't like laziness.
No. So that means, for me, mental laziness, which is something that I work on in myself, not being mentally lazy, because I have a tendency, if I think things are hard, it's hard for me to even try. If I see it and I feel like it's hard, it's like, ugh. But that's a self-confidence thing. But especially in a man, the mental or physical laziness, we can figure out how to do something. Something.
Right. Yeah.
Even if it's not what we want to do right now. If you have breath in your body.
Right. Right.
We can do something.
You can do something.
Come on, man. Come on. We have to figure it out.
Yeah. So,
laziness is, I don't like that. That is a deal breaker. If I had a spouse that wouldn't work or wouldn't wasn't ambitious enough to have gainful employment, if they're underemployed, and they're not working a couple of jobs or trying diligently.
You need 2 jobs, man.
Sometimes it depends on the situation you've created for yourself. I hustle. Do what it takes. That's what I say. Do what it takes.
Get out there and do something. Okay.
Yes, get out there and do it. Because I don't have any respect for you if you're not doing something.
Yeah.
Something.
I did cut the grass yesterday. I'll just mention that. But anyway.
But those are my deal breakers.
Okay. All right. That's good.
So, okay, moving on. Where did you learn how to be in a relationship? What were your examples? What was your imagination? One day I'm gonna be somebody's husband and it's gonna go like this or whatever.
Yeah, I didn't have that imagination, but I don't know. Yeah, one day I'm gonna be somebody's husband. I don't know. I didn't kind of think about that when I was growing up little. But probably, for me, I really didn't have good examples growing up of, and then there were some that were, not family, but other people I knew, but I didn't pay attention to it. So I would just have to say, probably like you. I mean, it was, TV.
Yeah.
What I saw on TV. Watching the Cosby Show. What I thought. Is how it's supposed to be. So that was kind of tough for me. I never really learned how to be in a relationship, how to be in a committed relationship by looking at older couples until I was older.
Yeah.
It's almost like I didn't have sense enough to look at an example, and, until I got older, and I was like, now, how do they do it? Type of thing. But I did have, I'll just say this, I did have some people, when I was getting in a relationship early on, tell me, an uncle and another a pastor told me, no, don't do it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what do these people know?
Mm-hmm. They don't know nothing.
Yeah, they don't. And one older man was telling me, don't do it. You need to think about it. And I was looking at his life, saying, you've been in some different relationships. You've been married a couple times, and so not realizing this is the reason why he's telling me,
right?
Because I have made mistakes.
Right.
I think that's one big thing with young people. I love you, and this is a whole nother subject. I love young people. I love the next generation, but I think I made this mistake growing up, and I think it's just a flaw. I'll say a flaw, but it's common. I think to most young people is that you got to understand that people who are older that tell you stuff, not every time, but a lot of times it's because they've been through it. They're not telling you, like, I'm giving you my opinion on what you should do. Right. No, I'm telling you, I failed 17 times doing this, so don't do that.
Right. I know not to do that.
I know not to do that, but I didn't listen. So, that's a tough. I don't know. What about you? Where did you learn how to be in a committed relationship?
How to learn? I learned through, well, I didn't learn, but my perception of being in a committed relationship came through music videos and TV shows. There you go. I remember
there you go. MTV.
Being older, and I saw this music video, and
BET.
It has something BET, exactly. 10 years old, BET came out. It had something to do with the guys. It's probably rappers, I guess. I can't even remember. But the whole point was he had to have a nice car, a lot of money, and a woman or women, with him, and that made him feel like a man. And I remember thinking, I wonder if that's what guys think. Like, are those the most important things? Like, as long as you have money, a nice car, and a girl, that's all it takes. Right. I don't know. I just remember that specifically, and I don't even remember who the artist was or anything. I just remember those three things about the video. And in music videos, the women a lot of times are not dressed completely, and they all look pretty similar.
Nice way to put it.
And so, for me as a young person, you feel like I felt like those things were requirements to attract a guy and to keep a guy. You had to have at least a little bit of that in you,
right,
to be able to attract somebody and to keep them. And then you get to like romantic comedy movies,
right?
Where the guy and the girl, totally they don't like each other in the beginning, but then in the end they get together, and
what you needed was right in front of you the whole time.
That kind of thing. So that's what you think about. You get married or you get into a relationship, and you're like, it's supposed to go like this, right. And for little girls, a lot of times you play with your dolls growing up, and you play house, and you have Ken saying one thing and Barbie doing one thing, and the little girl is controlling the whole situation, and you do that all the way up until I played with dolls until I was at least 12, at least,
right,
or older, and so really all the way up until you get interested in boys,
right,
you're practicing being in that relationship. But what you don't realize is that you're controlling the boy in your mind.
When he said you control the whole situation.
I got this whole thing. So when you get into the relationship, you shouldn't be controlling the other person, but you want to, because you've been practicing that.
Right.
So that's where it came from. Then, along with, I think, did I learn from older couples? I don't know how much I learned, but I did pay attention to older couples in my life and observed. I was observant. Now, how much I learned, I don't know.
Right.
Okay. But I was observant.
Yeah.
With other couples. So, yeah.
All right. Well, that's good. I mean, hey, men and women are different, and the outlook is definitely different. And one thing we know for sure, that book is true.
Men are from Mars and women are from Venus. And what we should do is probably read that book together. I'm sure it's like on audiobook or something. And then we maybe in a future episode we can come back and talk about what we learned or something, or if we thought it was applicable to our lives. That might be
that's good.
Interesting to know. Yeah. And that's our take on Saving Us. If you enjoyed what you heard and you want to save the relationships in your life, please click the subscribe button below and share it with a friend.